Hey, Greg with PNW Enduro. Today I'm going to go over my picks for top 5 dirt bikes of 2023. Now before we get into it, I'm going to explain a little bit my criteria. These are bikes I've tested and ridden throughout the year, and they aren't necessarily the best bikes out there. They're just the bikes that I had the most fun on. Also, I do give priority to bikes that have had upgrades since the past year over bikes that are the same as last year's model. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, what a playful bike. So I'm on the 2023 Beta 200RR Race Edition. Man, you run out of gears fast on this thing and the open stuff. Coming in at number 5 is the 2023 Beta 200RR Race Edition. This is a really light and playful feeling bike, and it is a standout in the small bore category. This bike requires a lot of shifting and it favors a more aggressive riding style. The big change for this year on the 200RR Race Edition is it now has KYB suspension front and back. So I love the smaller frame on this 200. It's a good fit for me. Definitely a lot more shifting than the 300 I was riding earlier. This bike will favor the more aggressive riders. So right away, number 1 is the motor. The new TBI fueling system is a huge step forward. This bike is way more responsive in every gear, and it is a ton more fun to ride, which is really the most important thing. Electronic power valve, another huge improvement, makes the bike throttle response better, and there's a lot more tuning options. Electronic power valves are the future. Okay, 2023 KTM 250 XC TBI. Ridden the 300 already, now I'm trying out the 250. Number 4 is the 2023 KTM 250 XC TBI. This is an all-new bike for 2023. TBI motor, electronic power valve, new frame, swing arm. List goes on and on, right down to the kickstand. Now these new XC models have a ton of power, and I actually prefer the 250 over the 300 on the XCs nowadays. One thing that didn't get an upgrade, however, is this bike still has the air forks, which I'm not a big fan of. The 24 models that are now out have the new spring forks, which is a big improvement. I think the biggest improvement over the TPIs is the throttle response. It's just instant, and it's always there when you need it. Number 3 is the 2023 Sherco 300 SEF 4-stroke. Now this is the only bike on the list that didn't get upgrades from the previous model year, but I had to put it on there because this is the bike I purchased this year and I'm kind of partial to it. This is a fantastic bike for the type of riding I bought it for, which is more open flowing mountain single track. This bike also does quite well in the slower trails. I think it's the best 4-stroke for the more technical type riding. Number 3, 2023 Sherco 300 SEF. Wow,
Look at this flow. Alright, taking the Beta X Trainer out for a spin. I haven't ridden an X Trainer for a while, and I haven't ridden them since they are counterbalanced. The motor's definitely smoother than before.
Number 2 is the bike that surprised me the most. It's the Beta 300X Trainer, or Cross Trainer. This is probably the most underrated dirt bike out there. And part of that is people compare this bike to bikes that aren't really in the same category. I love the smaller frame on the Cross Trainer, and this is by far the best handling bike that Beta makes, in my opinion. It's really well suited to newer riders, women riders, and shorter riders alike. So number 2 this year goes to the Beta Cross Trainer.
So even though this is a 300, I think this is one of the best bikes for people getting into riding. It's just so easy to ride. It's got tons of torque, but not crazy amounts of power. ...2024 KTM 300 XCW. The new TBI version, 95% new bike. Swing arm frame, new forks, TBI motor, electronic power valve. So many changes, and it is fantastic. I love this bike.
Number 1 this year, the 2024 KTM 300 XCW. KTM knocked it out of the park with an all-new bike this year. Electronic power valve, TBI motor, new frame, and the new suspension is the best stock suspension I've ever ridden. I was immediately comfortable on this bike, and I had so much fun riding it. The only small complaint I can have on this bike is the seat height is a little bit higher with the PDS shock. Well, maybe I can also complain because I don't own one. My pick for bike of the year, 2024 KTM 300 XCW.
I tell you, the suspension on this is really good. Totally stock settings right in the middle. I'm feeling good on this bike. Honestly, if I was buying a new 2-stroke today with what's on the market, this would probably be it.